What's ripening YouTube? It's mid-December 2017, and I wanted to give you kind of an idea of what is going on here. The bed behind me, this is kind of like my home base. I've got my shipping container there with all my storage, all my tools. Got my nursery in the woods there, and then this is kind of the outer bed, and it continues. There's another outer bed, and then I'll walk over there and show you that in a minute. But so this bed here, to give you an idea, all this here, I planted this in May. Little pups, little turmeric starts. They look kind of shredded because of the hurricane, but they grew really well. They, like each one of these, here, I'll show you this. Each one of these turmeric patches is a pretty beefy, you see that mycelium? That's good stuff. That is good stuff. You see all this turmeric in here? Yeah. This is a different type. This is the blue one here. Check it out. See, it's like purple, blue purple. That's weird. I don't know if you can, it looks white on the screen, but it's purple to me. Anyway, that's just one type. I have a bunch of different types growing here. But that's all, this has all been planted in May. These mounds, this is a jackfruit that I grew from seed. It's probably, I don't know how tall it is, but it's going on almost 2 years old. This is a banana circle here. This is dwarf red bananas. Lucenas. I did a video about these where I've just popped them in the ground. I pulled them out of the ground somewhere and popped them in. Little Jabota tree. Another jackfruit seedling, 2 years old. Got all this Thai basil's going crazy here. Sweet potatoes everywhere. Lemongrass. More turmeric. I've got the roselle. I already did a big harvest of roselle. I made jellies for Christmas gifts. This tithonia is coming up. Cranberry hibiscus. Pigeon pea. We had a big fog, so everything's really wet right now. Another jackfruit. This whole section is all jackfruit. But this was planted in May. So this has only been through one season, but it established really pretty fast. I got a couple pineapples that kind of struggled. They were not healthy when I planted them. Some gingers that just barely came up this year. I'm hoping next year they'll pop up. Another jackfruit there. This is another big banana circle here. I think these are Orinoco. That banana circle is Brazilian. Let's see. This is a jackfruit that I planted a year before, and that one's already got flowers all over it. So hopefully this year it'll start pumping out. Maybe next year it'll start pumping out some fruit, or at least try. So that happened in May. That whole system there, and then probably, let's see, June or July, somewhere around there, is when I started this whole side here. So this bed was like, you see the palmetto that was there, that tall tree was there, that tall oak tree was there, and then it was like a big bed of Brazilian peppers, and then the back is wax myrtle, which is the native nitrogen fixer. I left that there. I pulled out the invasives and started doing my same kind of pattern I do pits and mounds. So this was a pit that I filled back up with wood mulch to make the mound here. That's a grafted jackfruit with a pigeon pea next to it, and sweet potato, papaya, cassava, pigeon pea again, turmerics, pineapples, coconut. But the pattern kind of repeats itself. Here's another different type of jackfruit with a big pit. Actually, it's a huge pit because I made another mound over there with that jackfruit tree. And there's another one, and there's another one that goes around the corner there. This bed has turmeric in it ginger that just came up. I don't know why they came so slow this year. I think it's because I bought them from a local market, and they might have had some kind of growth inhibitor stuff on them. So I'm not sure about that. I've got passion fruits. It's trying to come up this tree. I tried to let them go on their own, and they weren't making it, so I zip tied them to this piece of bamboo. And then I actually made, this is an experiment, I made these little passion fruit ladders because a lot of my trees don't have low branches because I've pruned them that way. So I made this zip tie ladder where I put zip ties on a piece of metal. Like this is just conduit I had laying around. And what my idea is that those little tendrils will catch onto that, and then they'll reach up and catch onto that. And once they get up in the tree, then they're fine. But I did have a couple that were getting up there. Like here's one that, see, this one's up. I zip tied it, and now it's reaching. Eventually it's gonna find that, and it's gonna make it up the tree. Sorry about the sun if it's all up in your face. But I had some that were halfway up, and then the hurricane knocked them all down. So I'm trying to give them a fighting chance here. I'm still on the jackfruit section, but got sugar cane going. I got the Jamaican cherries, and then out here, well, this is more jackfruit here, jackfruit, and then out here on this edge, if you look, all these trees that are planted, they're on mounds too. This side of the bed is like the north side of the bed, and the idea is that these are gonna hopefully grow up. That's like mulberries and loquats, more cold tolerant things. The idea is they'll fill in and act as a windbreak for the jackfruit, which are a little bit more sensitive. It's probably going to be a minor effect, but that's the concept anyway. I've got a couple of little rarities like this one right here. I grew this from a seed that I got from Fruit and Spice Park. It's called, it's called Olosapo, which is the type of, I guess it's the type of Sapotaceae or something like that. It tastes like butterscotch rum. It's like really unique, like kind of a knobbly looking fruit. Pretty cool. This is a tamarind that I had planted at my house, and I had to move it for various reasons, and it came back, so I replanted it. Another little mulberry, several different loquats that I've collected. Got our little Ross Sapote going. A red mangosteen, another one that I brought back from Fruit and Spice. I don't know why I put it out here on the north side, because it's probably cold sensitive, but that's where it went. Macadamia. The macadamia, I planted that seed. I visited a friend of mine down in the Florida Keys at Grimmel Grove, and it's the first time I ever saw someone like had macadamias without the squirrels eating them. That's because they don't have squirrels in the Keys. So anyway, I got a seed and grew it, and my attitude is that the flowers smell really nice. I don't think I'm going to get any nuts. I think it's going to be feeding the squirrels, but maybe they'll focus on that and leave my other stuff alone. This right here I got from my buddy Andy Firk. This is a bunya tree. Bunya. These make gigantic pine cone things that are awesome. They only bear every few years, but it's supposed to be really good. Like if you imagine a pine nut, but just that big, really good. This is a green mulberry that tastes kind of like melons. Another loquat. That's the falsa tree. I got that from Just Fruits and Exotics near Tallahassee. It was like on sale, so I bought it and didn't really know what it was. But it's cold. If they're growing it, it's going to be cold hardy. So I put it up there. But that's the edge of this bed. So I did that all in June, July. As you can see, I just decimated my mulch mountain. So it still hasn't really recovered yet. Oh, I got to show you the other side. So in July, I went to Fairchild Botanical Gardens. They had the Mango Festival, and this year's theme was wild mangoes. So it was like there's the Mangifera indica, which is the standard mango, of which we have hundreds of, maybe thousands of varieties, and then there's other Mangiferas. So I got a little collection of Mangiferas. This one right here, these are tiny. This one I got from Lara Farm before the thing, because I already wanted it anyway. This is called Kasturi mango. It makes little like blue-purple ones that are supposed to be pretty awesome. That's a Crew banana that pups from my other house. This one is, I think this is Odorata, which is supposed to have like a durian-like smell, like a really strong smell. This one is I think this is the honey mango, Lila Jiwa. Lila Jiwa is a mango that's supposed to have little pockets in the flesh that are like, they look like honey. They're like soft and they taste like honey. Supposedly, they call it the honey mango. And then the other one is, they call it Siamese. And that one, they used to just think, they thought it was just a variety of mango, but apparently they've determined that it's another species altogether. And it is from Singapore, and it's supposed to make pretty big fruit, and it bears like kind of weird times of the year. So I'm hoping I can get like some off-season, pretty good mangoes out of that. And then back here, I just mulched this like a couple days ago. Right before the hurricane, I had made pits and mounds here, and I had planted kind of like what I had left of my Annona collection. So I had a couple different types of sugar apples, like 3 or 4 different types of Adamoyas. And then the hurricane came, so I had made the mounds and I planted them, and like the next day I was gonna go get my top dressing compost mix that I get, and I like top dress around the tree if I can. And then like we had these crazy rains that flooded, and then not like the tree flooded, but like I couldn't get on the property because the front of the property is like my lowest area. So if I get floods, I kind of like locked out. But anyway, so I couldn't get back here and mulch. I couldn't do anything. And then the hurricane came, and then after the hurricane, I went to Thailand for weeks, and then after that, it's just like on and on and on. I didn't have any time. Couldn't get to it. So I finally mulched it, but I lost. Well, 2 of them I dug back up because I figured they were better in a pot. Everything looks kind of junky back here, but anyway, this is my Annona collection, and I'll fix it up. I'll put some better things in. Maybe this year I'll collect a couple different ones, but this is what I have left of that. This tree used to stand up straight. Now it goes at like a 30-degree angle from the ground. But I planted passion fruit. These are cuttings that I got from some friends of mine in Sarasota. Shout out to Sulcata Celeste. Those are your cuttings from yours if you're watching this. They took forever. I got them to root, and I planted them, and they didn't do anything. And then it seems like once it cools down just a little bit, they start reaching for the sun. So maybe it's because the sun's lower. They're actually trying to grow now. But anyway, I wanted to leave this tree because I'm thinking like passion fruit can just crawl up this thing and go crazy, and then just rain passion fruit all here. That's kind of my idea. So I'll let you know how that goes out. And then up at the kind of mid-range of my property, I have my mango orchard, and that's just like, it's kind of gridded out. I think I did a couple videos in the past, but now I've like at least tripled it. It was like, I think I had like 8 varieties at first, and now I have 24 varieties, and I have plans to double that again very soon. And then eventually I'm gonna have selected a few really good varieties to grow even more of, because I want to kind of focus on mangoes here. I think that's probably going to be my most successful crop, or one of them. But anyway, I've got a whole, if you can see, that whole section there is mangoes, and I just have one of each right now. It's a collection, but now that I have them, I'll be able to take budwood and graft and do whatever I want with them. But that's what I'm dealing with right now. I'm also clearing under the woods over here. That's another whole story. Maybe I'll get to that at some point and show you how I do it. But so anyway, the point of it was just to kind of catch you up and show you what's going on here, what's ripening, if you will. Let's see. I think that's it. I'm going to sign out. One more big project that we worked on this summer that I forgot about was putting in this well. That was, we did that right before the hurricane too. That was another thing we were working on, and I can't remember anything that happened. Anyway, so yeah, my buddy has a little kind of a mini rig, and we dug this thing. It's like, it goes down 30 feet, and you can see all this sand is like washout from me trying to clean it out. So that's what my subsoil looks like. It's just white powder, like sugar sand. I guess everyone calls it sugar sand. That's not what it looks like on the surface, but that's what it looks like way down. On the surface, it's gray because it's got some organics in it, and then it goes through this brown layer, like almost like a clay peaty, like pretty good. I don't know what that is, like a hard pan or a compaction layer, or just the old flats, maybe like way back. And then it goes to like yellow sand, and then eventually it goes to this, but it goes like, there's little bits of shell here and there, but yeah, so that's what's down there anyway. I don't know how you care, but anyway, that well is, I'm still working on that. I haven't got it set up to run my irrigation yet, but that's on my to-do list. Here's the front, the older part of the food forest. A lot of things fell down in the hurricane and grew back super fast. Like these bananas, these bananas are crazy, man. They like whatever was here fell over. And then I think these two pups were here, the ones that are both fruiting, like that one's fruiting. Look at this rack on this dwarf Namwa. This is a hefty rack of bananas. The first dwarf Namwa rack I had was about half that size on the other stem. But they love, I see this is a big mountain of compost right here, and there's banana planted, and they friggin' love it. Got sweet potato on the ground. I keep accidentally finding sweet potatoes when I'm doing something else. Let me come through here. Wow. See, this one's flowering too. It's getting ready to go. That one's about to flower. This is kind of my sugarcane collection. I've already tasted a couple of them. That one's called Bamboo Amarillo. It's kind of got like a purple and yellow, but with a powder on it. It's kind of cool. I'm only just now getting larger canes because I planted them kind of late in the season. Sorry about the sunlight here. I've got another one called Old Java. That one's like a numbered one. I don't remember the number. And then I've got a whole bunch of other ones that I'm trialing out. My loquat's up on these mounds. If you can see past the moringa tree, the loquat. That one's not flowering. The other ones are all flowering, so hopefully we'll get some fruit out of them this year. This is my bamboo. So when I bought this property, there was a fence line, not as nice as that one because it didn't have the wood. It was like just barbed wire, and it was covered in Brazilian peppers and other very difficult invasive viney plants, which I removed by hand. So that was before I had equipment. Now I have a tractor, which I love. I'm going to do some videos about my tractor because I have like a love affair with that thing. But anyway, this is the last section of bamboo that I planted. This is the Bambusa nana. And I planted it like, it's probably been a year ago now. I planted it probably at the end of last year, like during a drought. So that was dumb. Or no, actually I planted it in the spring. I think I planted in the spring of this year. Well into the drought. So I had to water it, like hand water this thing. And then I finally got my irrigation set up, and then it was getting irrigated for a little while. But all the other ones I planted the year before. This one started shooting first. Like this one, like instantly was like boom, 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 started shooting out pipes. And it looks kind of chlorotic now. I think it needs some nutrition because I don't think I did as much for this section as I did for the other ones, like preparing it. So I'm going to amend that pretty soon. I'm working on that right now. But this thing grew in faster than anything and taller, and it's got like these cool, like kind of purpley colored new canes that turn green eventually. They're looking sunburned now. I think they got damaged by the hurricane. This one's the, what do you call it? Angel Mist or the Ghost Bamboo. That one's looking pretty awesome. It's still putting out new shoots. Like this clump's got, that's a new shoot. That's a new shoot. There's a new shoot. I've been pulling out the Tithonia, which was my early visual screen, but they were competing. So I found that some of the bamboos, like here's the gracilis one, Pexillus gracilis, and then that one up there is Asian lemon. That thing is a beast. That one actually like outcompeted the Tithonia, and the Tithonia was like dying back. I don't know if it was putting something out in the roots to affect the Tithonia or what, but it just like this whole bed, the Tithonia just went, it just like melted. All the leaves were shriveling up. Didn't do that everywhere, but that bed, for whatever reason, it just knocked them out. But if you look, like you can't see through that. That's after, let's see, I planted that. That's a year and a half. That's a year and a half of growth from a 3-gallon pot to that. And, you know, they're going to look a lot nicer when they get taller, because you're going to see open canes and you won't have it so bushy. But the bushiness is giving me that visual screen I want anyway. This is my biggest question mark, is this Chungii. I planted these from my own propagation material, and the problem was when I set this bed up, I wasn't as concerned with the grass, and so the grass came up really fast. I didn't cover it very well. Grass came up really fast, and to try to amend it, I just added more mulch on top. I figured I'd just bury the grass and maybe it'll stop it. But it didn't stop it, and I think it also affected the growth of the bamboo. Because so the first year, so I have the original pipe. The first year I had pipes coming out to weird angles to the side, like they were coming out of a lower node of the original piece. And then when I added the mulch on top of that, I think it was too much for new pipes to come out of the ground. So instead, the bamboo kind of adapted itself, and the first pipes that came out like this created their own pipes. So if you imagine the knuckle on my finger is a node on the pipe, it's sticking out of the ground, and there's actually pipes coming out of that node now. Let me go back and show you. It's crazy. So anyway, it's still growing, but it doesn't look nearly as good as the other ones, for one thing, and it's not growing vertically. I want it to grow up, not out. But let's see what I'll show you here in a second. Actually, I'm gonna switch the camera. So this is a bamboo called Bambusa Chungii. This is the blue bamboo. You can see the new growth has kind of a blue hue to it. I don't know if you won't know what you're looking at, but this is the original canes that were cut off. See, they were cut off here. It was divided from another plant and then planted in the ground. The first year, this cane came up like that, and this cane came up, and there's some more in the back over there that went out that way. Since I had all this grass growing up here, which I still have it, this grass is crazy. I'm going to figure out a way to appreciate this and not try to fight it. Anyway, since I had the grass, I tried burying this with more mulch, and you can see, how it's kind of pale, like yellow down here. It's because I put so much mulch around the plant. I think that was a mistake, because instead of putting out new canes from here, I got this weird business here. Look at this. So this is a new cane from last year, and then now it's created its own. There's a cane. Here's a cane that's going down, and then over that way somewhere. And there's another one, like that one's coming down, and it's doing that all over the place. There's another one. This is another node from other new cane that it shoots down. And if you look at them, they want to root. They're making roots right there. So what I'm thinking is I might get some cinder blocks. Look, even higher up. This one's even doing it. Look at that new shoot coming down. That's so weird. That one's doing it. I've never seen this before. I'm not a bamboo expert, but this is weird. So I'm thinking I might just maybe dig this and then lay this thing down with a block. Maybe then the roots can grab down, something like that. Or maybe I should just leave it alone. I haven't decided yet. But man, it's weird. So don't bury your bamboo when it's trying to grow. That's my moral of the story.